Simeon Burke here. I'm standing once again outside the Bar Council building in Dublin. I have applied once again this year to join the Law Library in order to be able to practice as a barrister, to practice law in the Irish courts. Now, I completed all of my legal studies and I was called to the bar in first place in October 2023. But despite that, I am still prevented today from practicing law before the Irish courts. I have not secured a master, which is necessary for completion of the mandatory one-year pupillage period, which has to be completed in the first year of Law Library membership in order to practice law before the Irish courts. The deadline for securing a master is 5 p.m. on this Friday, the 19th of September. Now, membership of the Law Library is the only official established way to do a pupillage in Ireland. And it is evident down through the years from Law Library documents that they have said that every aspiring barrister is assured of sourcing a master. And of course, members of the Law Library have indicated to me that if there is a difficulty in locating a master, the Law Library has stepped in so that such persons can proceed to Law Library membership. However, of course, it's been a different story for me. Although I have reached out repeatedly to Mr. Sean Gearan, Senior Counsel, Chair of the Bar of Ireland, which is the governing authority of the Law Library, I'm still today left outside the door of the Law Library. Mr. Sean Gearan, Senior Counsel, has sought to explain away the statements that the Law Library has made regarding its admission policies, and he has maintained the position that there is nothing the Bar Council can do to assist me, other than pointing me to the approved master list. Furthermore, barristers who have sought to assist me have been turned away. A practitioner who applied to go on the master list in order to take me on as a pupil, his application was not accepted. Another barrister who wrote repeatedly to Mr. Sean Gearan trying to offer me assistance, to this day his correspondence has not been responded to in writing. So Sean Gearan, the Chair of the Bar Council, is standing in my way by appearances, and I've been left outside the door of the Law Library. That is despite the fact that I have a Bachelor of Civil Law from the University of Galway, a Master of Law degree from the University of Cambridge, and have the Barrister at Law degree from the Honourable Society of King's Inns. Despite all of that, I have been left outside the door and I'm prevented from practicing law as a barrister before the courts of Ireland. Now, some matters have come to my attention recently regarding the Law Library, and I want to make the public aware of those. Firstly, earlier this year, Mr. Sean Gearan, the Chair of the Bar Council, was one of a select number of speakers at an LGBT pre-Pride party in Dublin, organised by the Outlaw Legal Network. Outlaw is an organisation that exists for the promotion of LGBT in the legal sector in Ireland. The Law Library is a member of Outlaw. And on the 12th of July this year, the Outlaw Legal Network marched in the Trans and Intersex Pride March in Dublin. And that was, quote, to support the trans and intersex community, standing together in solidarity to demand urgent action on trans healthcare, unquote. Now, in addition, the Law Library has also created a book lending collection entitled the Quality, Diversity and Inclusion and Allyship Collection. There are 17 books in that collection, and I want to share with you some of the titles, some of the content that the Law Library is promoting to its members and staff as part of that collection. So one of the titles is Trans Like Me. You can see it here. The title is Trans Like Me, A Journey for All of Us. And as its title indicates, that book takes you through many different elements of gender transition. I want to pull out some key points that are made in that book. The book attacks the idea that there are only two genders, male and female. The view that there are only two genders is described in the book as a toxic myth. Legal reforms, according to the book, should ensure that transgenderism is enshrined in law. The book argues that people should use transgender pronouns, so in other words, the they, them pronoun. The book argues that transgender criminals should be housed in the prison of their choice. And the book also argues that puberty blockers are a, quote, godsend, unquote, and that they should be made available to children. I want to reiterate that one. Puberty blockers are described as a godsend, and the author says they should be made available to children. Now, Sean Gearin has no problem with that book in his library, a book promoting puberty blockers for children, a destructive force in young lives. But he does have a problem, it seems, with me, a Christian. The book also says, quote, sex is a shifting, evolving, ever-expanding term that needs to reflect the totality of our bodies and bodily experiences. So this is one of the books that has been promoted in this collection by the Law Library to the members, to the staff, and to the wider community. Another book that the Law Library is promoting as part of this collection is entitled Life Isn't Binary. And you can see that book here. It's called Life Isn't Binary, on being both, beyond, and in between. I want to just read from the back of that book about what it's about. It says, using bisexual and non-binary gender experiences as a starting point, this truly original and insightful book encourages reflection on how we view and understand the world. It also says, much of society's thinking operates in a highly rigid and binary manner. Something is good or bad, right or wrong, a success or a failure, and so on. Challenging this limited way of thinking, this groundbreaking publication looks at how non-binary methods of thought can be applied to all aspects of life, offering new and greater ways of understanding ourselves and how we relate to others. So this book similarly attacks the idea that there are only two genders. Indeed, the following statement is in the book. Quote, binary thinking around gender has been a vital feature in the history of patriarchal oppression. So this book promotes the idea that there are more than two genders, and it also promotes the idea that the notion of good or bad, right or wrong, is a limitation that needs to be moved beyond. And I would ask at this point, what hope does anybody in our country have of justice in the courts when these are the books that the Professional Association for Barristers is promoting? What hope of justice in the courts on these issues? These are not just unchristian views and ideas. These are anti-Christian views. They are radical. They are extreme views. But the Professional Association for Barristers in Ireland is promoting those views to its members, its staff, and to the wider public. I am concerned that the Law Library is promoting these ideas, and yet I am being shut out, left outside the door, denied any effective assistance by the Chair of the Bar Council, Mr. Sean Gearin, Senior Counsel.